Welcome back to Milton Mo Junction, or should I say a very sad looking Milton Mo Junction. The view you've got at the minute, there's not too much different, but this is the last bit to actually take apart. It's probably the most difficult. As you can see, the heritage yard is now gone. I've removed all the track work that hasn't been ballasted. That's all along here, all under here, all along here, and all along here, and all of this. As I say, the only bit that's left really is the ballasted bit. So that's the next job. It's been a long time, but a lot of it hasn't actually been taking the layout apart. Some of it is, and it's surprising how long it actually takes to sell some of the stuff. Big collection I had, so it's been sort of a long time going or selling, and I'm still selling buildings at the moment. Tracks, the next thing. I've got boxes of track. Of course, all the helix and all the fiddle yard was all code 100, so that was unballasted code 100, mostly set track, insulated small points, insulated frog small points, and set curves going up the helix. I thought it was easier to put fixed track rather than flexi track. What else? Yeah, of course, all this upper level is all code 75, and there's a big pile of flexi track here. There's another big pile of flexi track there. There's some points already taken up. Point motors, masses of point motors under there. And of course there's all the point work on the ballasted bit. I'm not sure what the condition of the points will be when it all comes apart, but that'll obviously be the next job, to see what happens next on that. As I say, a lot of it, the time taken between basically now and the previous video, has been planning and working out what to do. I've sort of, show you here, I don't know whether this will come out on camera, I've sort of got a simplified layout. Basically what I want to do is have one overall loop that goes around the whole lot. Single track for most of it, or half of it at least, going into a double track here. There'll be some sort of station system here, I haven't really finalised that. Some sort of engine shed here, and some sort of storage area. Now I did deliberate whether to make it just a pure open fiddle yard, but I thought, well, there won't be a lot of workings that I can actually do if I do that. It'll just be up this end and the engine shed. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll incorporate the storage yard with a goods yard. There might be a couple of lines here where I can store some carriages in, and full trains perhaps, but I'll also have a working area to play basically goods trains, and have a goods depot where trains can come in, break up, have a sort of shunting puzzle, if you like, for a bit of interest. And of course I've got the single loop going round that I can have trains running if I want. So I'm busy sort of planning that. The other decision, of course, was what track to actually use. I had pretty much two choices. One was Pico and one was Lens. I made up a little mock joining piece of track. I think that's Lens and that's Pico. As you can see, the join is pretty good if you use the Lens joiners, which are quite quite neat. They're riveted and they're sprung, so they make a very, very good join. As you can see, the level's the same, but the profile's slightly different. The sleepers are slightly closer together on the lens, but brown. The rail is higher profile, but smaller clamps. Not sure I've forgotten the name of them. They're much bigger on the Pico track, but it's a narrower or smaller profile rail. So that was one decision, and that's a decision to make. Also involved in that was the points. Now this is a lens point. Now the beauty is I've got I think I've got 10 of these. The beauty of these is this is a motorized point. Everything is on that point, from the motor to the controller. All you have to do is, I mean, this one has a number allocated to it, and that's pretty much it. It picks up the power from the track, and that's all you need. So you don't have to drill any holes in the baseboard. It's pretty much plug and play. The only downside, of course, it's got the lantern on it, the lit lantern, which is not a British profile idea, but I think I can remove the lantern and leave the point as it is. The other point to consider is that they're a lot more expensive, but if I sell this, I'm going to lose money on the sale anyway. You always do with second-hand track. So is it worth virtually selling it and buying Pico when I'm not going to have that many points? I've got, as I say, I've got 12 of these. I probably want another 2, 3. So the expense of buying the 2 and 3 on top, and all the hassle of selling it and buying a completely new set. And as I mentioned before, this is so easy to lay, it's virtually lay and go. I will electrify the frogs, but again, that's very easy to do. All you have to do is drop a wire from this little brass bit here, put that to a frog juicer, and that will do the job. So I think I'm edging on the way of this. The other beautiful thing about this is you can put a point to a point, or a track to the point, and there's no need to cut sleepers. It just fits. Perhaps I can show you without getting you too dizzy on a piece I've already done. So there's no sleeper cutting needed on any of this. They just join up naturally. It must be a sharper angle, but I have trialed it with locos, O-gauge locos, British halogen ones, and the coaches that I'm going to use, and they all go over it and no problem. I mean, the angle is, I think it's something like 5 foot radius anyway, so it should be alright. So I think that's the way I'm going to go. As I say, the whole idea of the layout is to make it for ease, and the fact that I've got a lot of the track already, especially the points systems, I think I'll go along that way. So hopefully I'll be a lot quicker at laying the layout down. But anyway, it's an update of what I've been doing, and I'll keep you informed. If you've got any comments, please feel free to leave them, and subscribe if you wish. Obviously this is different to the original setup that I'd intended, but as I mentioned before, I don't think there's any or many O-gauge layouts on YouTube that have started from the beginning, so It might be interesting to some people, but thanks for watching anyway. So bye for now.